All right, hey, this is Jason from Lucidisc, and I'm here at Axpona 24, and I appreciate Lewis from Ortofon is taking some time to answer some questions for me. So first, how's the show going so far for you?
Our show's going great. We have a lot of great exhibits. We were kind of running into a lot of different rooms that we really like. It's always good to hear some of the best examples of sound, especially when we get to hear it with our top-tier cartridges. It's really great to hear some of the implementations and what people have put together.
Awesome, yeah, that's great, and hopefully I'll get to leave the booth some, but we're selling a lot of records, so I'm kind of here at the moment, but hey, it's what we're here for. So first question I wanted to ask Lewis today was, is there anything new at this show that Ortofon is kind of debuting for people to see?
Well, we're actually really excited because we have the new 2MR series of cartridges, and people are very familiar with our 2M series because it's been in existence for now 15 years. It's become an industry standard of sorts. In the series, we currently have 7 different models, but it's always been kind of a challenge for people to use them with Rega turntables because Rega turntables do not have a vertical tracking angle adjustment. So this was kind of leading to the requirement for shims and potentially extra counterweights and things like that.
Right.
The 2MR series cartridges, it's every one of our 2M models, but in a lower profile design, which is exactly the right height to allow the Rega tone arm to be at parallel, without the need for any shims and without the need for any extra counterweights. So this makes it much easier to use one of our award-winning 2M cartridges on your favorite Rega table.
Oh, that sounds good. I definitely will be looking forward to checking that out ourselves. So very interesting. I think that'll be extremely popular. So speaking of cartridges, there are no shortage of options out there in the marketplace.
No, absolutely not.
So when it comes to Ortofon,
Yeah.
What would you say is kind of the Ortofon stance on, hey, why do people want our cartridges? What separates yours?
Well, I think that Ortofon cartridges, that if you take a chance to really listen to the cartridges throughout the line, that we definitely have our own sort of house sound. We're always just trying to retrieve as much information from the record as possible, but never adding any extra or taking things away. We're always just trying to have a very neutral sound, something that's very true to what's on the record. And as you move up into throughout the cartridge lines that Ortofon offers, that you notice that they become more capable as far as retrieving information off of the record in a better way. But even with an entry-level cartridge like our award-winning 2M Red, that they still do offer a pretty neutral take on what's happening. And like I said, they're not adding anything to the sound. And we think that to really experience the best sound from vinyl, that you don't want to be forced into a particular personality or a certain tonal characteristic. You want to hear the record do what the record does.
Yeah, certainly. And I have a 2M Blue in my table in my office, so I listen to it a lot every day when I'm there. So yeah. I completely agree with the assessment. So switching gears a little bit, we're obviously here selling vinyl. Could you kind of tell me what one of your favorite albums is on vinyl that you listen to quite a bit?
Well, we were talking about what I was excited about that is kind of like new, and right now I just learned that Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies was reissued just recently, and me being an '80s baby and growing up in the '90s, that I was around for the grunge era, and Jar of Flies was kind of like the peak of that for me. One of the things that I could always go back to and always be sucked into the music and be like tapping my foot. So I'm really happy to see that that's available again, because that's one of my favorites and something that I listen to all the time.
Very nice. Yeah, I was born just in the late '70s, so I'm right there with you for sure. And in that kind of '80s era, I think I was told possibly your first album was an '80s album as well.
Yeah. My first album was Thriller, which which at the time being 4 years old was it still holds up to this day, and it's almost like a cliche to be like, my first record was Thriller, but it totally was, and still an epic record.
Yeah, indeed. So, hey, just wanted to say thanks to Lewis for coming by.
Yeah, hey, thank you very much for having me.
Having some questions here. So, thanks for watching, and definitely check out some more of our content.